Hello, everyone. Today, the topic is going to kind of range a bit. I've done kind of singular topics before, but today I just want to kind of share a few stories about while I was there, while I was in the Philippines, and just some little things that happen, some learning experiences, some funny things, just some things like that. And I hope you enjoy that. It's a little different, and I really wish I had gotten more on video. With this new camera, I think it'll be possible to record more. So, if you want to hear some stories, and in the future, hopefully you'll see some stories, just stick around. And if you haven't, go ahead and like and subscribe, and you'll see these interesting things in the future, I hope. But for now, I'll just kind of share a few things that happen, and yeah, so hopefully you enjoy. So yeah, I have quite a few stories, and some of them are funny and some of them are serious. Let's start off with kind of a funny one. And this is something I told my family. So if you might have already heard it if you're family, but for everyone else, it's probably something new. But we were traveling to her family's place back in Negros from Cebu, and you have to get on a bus, go down to the port, take a ship across, because Cebu is one island. For those who aren't familiar, people in America, Cebu is an island, and then Negros is another island. So a few hours bus ride, and then you get on the ship. But that's not really the point of the story. The point was we were traveling, and we took the bus without aircon. Aircon, we call it air conditioned, AC, whatever. But we took that bus because the other one was full. So we're traveling, and this is kind of my first or our first time traveling together. So it's the whole new, and I looked forward to it. I was like, oh, this will be fun, and it was. But it was just something that I wasn't used to traveling. Us two traveling together. So we're riding in the bus, and she has long hair, which I'm pretty used to long hair. All my sisters have long hair, but I haven't really been in the house lately. And I certainly haven't traveled with my sisters in a bus well, never. So yeah, we're sitting there. She's falling asleep, and I have chewing gum in, and so I'm chewing away, and of course, she had her cap on, but her hair's blowing, and I was chewing it with my mouth open. Probably bad habit, but I opened my mouth, and right at the time I opened my mouth, her hair flew in my mouth, got the gum, and flew back out. So she's asleep. I've got my gum in her hair, and yeah, it was a little comical. Fortunately, it didn't wrap up in there, so I was able to just pluck it out. She woke up and was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "My gum kind of went in your hair." So we threw that out, of course. I didn't put it back in and start chewing. But yeah, that was kind of a lesson learned. If you're on a bus and sitting next to someone with long hair, either don't chew gum or make sure you chew with your mouth closed. So yeah, that was interesting, but I really enjoyed traveling. That's one thing I miss. Well, a lot of things I miss, but we've talked about it. She's traveled back and forth since, and I'm like, I really enjoyed our time traveling together. Just getting to talk, just being there with her traveling. So that was a good experience, but it's a learning experience too. And of course, when you travel with someone, you see the best and the worst, and you know, it was something that was we both got to experience some I won't say hardships, but just challenges of traveling, and my bag was too big and things like that. But yeah, that was one thing that sticks out in my mind, and there's so many things other that's interesting little things. Another thing that happened this last time, and this is one of the more serious things, or could have been serious. I did a video about, I have this bag that it locks up. It's, you know, slash proof. It's anti-theft, so that someone can't just slash your bag. So I don't normally carry that here in the US because I normally have my car, so my stuff would just stay in my car. But there you're going around, you're on a hubble, I don't know how you say, but you know, you taxi, or you're renting a motorcycle, or riding a motorcycle with a driver or whatever. So you carry your possessions with you, especially, you know, carrying your passports, stuff like that, stuff you don't want to leave unsecured. So I had this bag, and we ate lunch, and I put the bag on the back of my seat. And like I said, I'm not really used to carrying a bag in the US, so you know, it's there, it's secured, but I didn't lock it because, you know, we're just eating, it's right there with me. So I'm like, well, this was in Negros, so it's not the city, it's not very the crime, I felt pretty safe there. So the city, you know, there's some more snatchers, but in the province it's more laid back. But we finished our lunch after church, and we're going wherever, to the next place we're going. We're done, and as we're walking out, there's some street kids. You know, they're asking if we have any leftovers. They weren't pushy or anything like that, but clearly they were poor kids, and you know, we gave them some of what we had left, and we get probably 2 or 3 blocks away, right there at the market, and I realized I left my bag on my seat. So, you know, first things running through my mind, the kids, you know, I'm not saying they were thieves, but it's there, and it had my drone in it, it had some electronics, you know, but the big thing, I think I had my passport in it at that time. So I'm thinking, oh no, I've just lost my passport and you know, quite a bit of electronics. So I tell her, I'll be right back. I turn around, sprint to the restaurant, the pizza place, and you know, everyone's looking at me like, oh, what? Because here this you know, white guy is literally all out sprinting to the you know, couple 2 or 3 blocks. But I'm thinking, as I'm going up, I better get there quick. So it was probably a sight to see. You know, they have the police is there, you know, watching over things and things like that, or military. You know, it's, I'm sure that you don't see that all the time. So I get there to the pizza place, and it was actually pretty neat. The kids were still outside. You know, they didn't try to take the bag or anything like that. And the lady who was sitting on the table next to us was actually still sitting there. They were finished with their lunch. And she immediately said, "You left your bag." And I said, "Yeah, I realized, I thought it would be, I was afraid it would be gone." And she said, "No, I was watching it, but we were fixing to go. I was going to give it to the owner, the people who run the restaurant. So I thanked her, and I was really relieved and glad that, one, I didn't lose my passport. That was the big deal, because then traveling would have been, I would have had to have it replaced, and two, that I didn't lose my things. But it was, I took that as a learning experience too. And one thing it taught me is, one, I need to be more careful about leaving my things around. But the other thing is, I'm not really sure how, I'm not really comfortable now leaving my passport. I try to have it either on me, or if I'm gonna secure it, I'm not gonna carry it around in a bag, probably. So you can, for those who've traveled a lot, or maybe travel, and you have your passport, what do you do with your passport? Do you lock it up in a safe? Things like that. I'm still not sure what I want to do, but I've kind of went to just keep it on me, not in a, but as secure as I can on my person. I actually have a little thing that I can wear that is under my, it's like a pocket that you can put things in, that you just put on you, but it's not outside. So I've done that. That may not be the best solution for everything, but that's one thing I learned. The other thing, and that I was really grateful for, and is just the honesty of the people there. There are poor people, and you have to be careful, and there are dishonest people just like anywhere else. But there are also people, and there are too here in the U.S., anywhere you go, there are dishonest people and there are honest people. And I was just glad that there was an honest person sitting next to me, looking out for me, even when I kind of made a mistake and left my stuff. So I was thankful to God, and thankful to the lady there. I wish I'd talked to her more. I had to go back and explain to Lena why I sprinted off. I just kind of briefly told her I gotta go back and get my bag. But so that was another thing that happened, and that happened this last time. So that was a more kind of heart fluttering moment. But there's a lot of other things that happen, that I just try to take those things as learning experiences, and that's what makes life, it makes it fun. I mean, I look back on it, you never want to go through things like that. Of course, the outcome was good. Sometimes the outcome isn't good, but I just try to take those things that I go through. I'm not saying I always take them in stride at the moment, but I try to learn from those things. So, and I think that's what you got to do. If you can learn from your mistakes, if you can, just accept that they did happen, but you just go on. But yeah, that's a couple stories, and sorry if I rambled a bit, but I have other stories. Tell me if you like that type, if you want to hear more stories, or would you like more info? What kind of videos, what kind of things do you want to hear about? And in the future, I'm going to be over in the Philippines, and more actually as it happens. Hopefully not losing my passport, but I'm going to have this GoPro and a couple other cameras, so I'll be recording, and so hopefully a little more action stuff. But If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, thumbs down. And comment, why you didn't like it or why you did like it. Or would you rather hear a different type of video? And if you do like these videos, or if you don't like these videos but you like watching them, subscribe and hit the bell. And you can check out the Facebook page, A Friend in the Philippines, and the website. But since you're on YouTube, just go ahead and hit that. Check out a couple other videos that I did. I did some that are more info. If you want to check those out, I'll link those one side or the other at the end of the video. But God bless, and I'll see you next time. And just take care. Bye.